Hi, I'm Kerry Goldstein, Park Ranger at Black Mountain Open Space Park. Black Mountain covers approximately 2,500 acres of mostly chaparral and coastal sage scrub habitats. Black Mountain's a popular place for hiking, bird watching, mountain biking, and here at this location, gliding.
Hi, I'm Steve Rohrbaugh, the president of San Diego Hang Gliding and Paragliding Association. We have about 250 active pilots in San Diego here, and this is one of our favorite sites to fly. Here at Little Black, we hike up. It's very low impact. We set up our gliders, whether it be a hang glider or a paraglider. Paragliders actually have a little bit shorter setup time. We lay out our glider, inflate it, and launch off. And we can stay aloft, essentially surfing the air currents for hours on end, and in some cases, and some days, miles on end. So I've been flying Black Mountain Open Space here for about 18 years. In fact, I learned how to fly here at Black Mountain Open Space. But the flight history really goes back many more years. It goes back to the 30s where they were hand towing full-size gliders here.
Charles Lindbergh and Anne Lindbergh came to San Diego in 1930 to learn gliding. They were flying from Mt Soledad and other locations like Point Loma and at the cliffs near Torrey Pines. But local school kids got very interested in gliding as a sport because of those achievements. And having Charles Lindbergh here in town learning gliders meant that must be pretty fun. So those local high school kids convinced their woodshop instructors to build gliders in woodshop class in the high schools, not boats or chairs. And in the weekends, they would take those gliders that they built to the local hills to try to test them and see if they could become Charles Lindbergh too. And one of the sites that they used to try was here at Little Black, called Black Mountain back then. So in the 1970s, that same sort of phenomenon happened again when hang gliders became really popular with the American youth. And hang glider pilots started flying from different locations like Torrey Pines, and also testing their designs and testing their abilities at locations like Little Black to have short, low-speed glides to test out their ability to fly. But the beautiful thing about this location is not only because it's orientation to the wind and its natural resource, but also because it recreates that history going all the way back to 1930 that has these young people inventing themselves in aviation without using motors, trying to do more with less and not compete with nature, but actually work with nature to fly.
Here at Little Black, it's a great training ground. Not only is it revered by the young pilots coming up through the ranks, but also by advanced pilots, and that it offers up some unique conditions where we can actually fly cross-country from here, using those rising thermals to climb up, and we actually can fly off to many miles away. The site record here is actually flying from here to Warner Springs, which is just a little under 30 miles. There's actually two types of gliders that we use. One is a hang glider, where the pilot is beneath a rigid canopy. There's rigid spars, and that's more of a delta shaped. The other type of glider is what we call a paraglider. It's a ram air glider. It's a soft canopy, and it's a little bit more of an elliptical shape. You'll tend to see these flying at very commonly at Torrey Pines, our other glider port that we have within the San Diego city limits. Here at Little Black, we're 10 miles off the coast, and thermals do form and track their way across the ground and then release off the spines and ridges here at Little Black. So here we are able to stay up for quite some time with the ridge lift. Ridge lift, you can typically get about 500 feet above the ground. From there, to get any higher than that, you really need thermic lift. And with thermic lift, we can get up to 3,000 feet above the ground. But those conditions don't always happen. That's why preserving sites like Little Black here is quite important. Based on the natural topography and the orientation of that topography into the prevailing winds is quite important. And those conditions really don't set up in very many places. So when I'm flying, you're using the natural elements. It's quite quiet. You hear the breezes, you hear the red-tailed hawks maybe calling. but you're really enveloped in what you're doing, and all the worries of the day are really put out of your mind. It's very much of a thinking sport. You're thinking about where am I going to find the next lift, and you're also sensing where that lift is as well. So you're not only feeling it, you're thinking, and it's a very engrossing and addicting sport. There's nothing quite like it.
The San Diego Hang Gliding and Paragliding Association has been active in promoting safe, low-impact use of this site. We invite you to come on out and enjoy the gliding. Also, plenty of hiking and other things to do here at Black Mountain Open Space Park.